Egypt and Finland, we can build a model for emerging markets, a sustainable healthcare value chain, a system that delivers both health outcomes and economic values. So we are in Egypt, or at least in the Ministry of Health, we are ready to move from conversation to execution. And I invite our Finnish partners to do the same. So, and I thank you.
I think we need to know more data, as you said before, that we need to collect data, what we need exactly, and what is the Finnish party have. Because we have a lot of requirement in the market right now, and the medical industry is booming. In the medical device industry is booming in Egypt right now with a lot of investment done, and we are ready for expansion. And also we have I always say that from Egypt the major market for us is Africa, because you know that there is a lot of very old relation between Africa and Egypt. What we can produce here is easy to be exported to Africa. So what we need to know, what the Finnish side have to be transferred to Egypt, so technology transfer. I don't know how we can collect this data. We need to know this information. It's very important for us to complete the work done.
Okay, I'm going to conclude with a beautiful example of co-creation. And I mean, Egypt is a big country, a large population, which allows for a lot of customization needs. I think one of the unique programs that you have in Egypt is the premarital screening program for thalassemias. And there it's a good example of co-creation, taking an existing product, but really adapting it to the local needs. And also making it really top of the notch, utilizing IE interpretation, because no other country is screening in a single lab 1.7 million screens for premarital testing. So it is, everything is possible. When there is a will, there is always a way.
Yeah, that was very important to hear about the data point, what you mentioned, collecting data. So, and that is, I won't open the discussion here, but that's very important and something we should discuss maybe later. But I mean, the final thought maybe on this one, that how important this sector really is, and if we link it to that where we started at the first panel when we on investments, when we talked about the talent pool. So it's basically it's very important what we do with women's and children's health issues, and because that defines the foundation of future economic growth anyway. So that is where this human capital begins. So I think this should be a priority for every society in this world. I'll leave it there.
Thank you so much for your time and a very clear message. There is potential. We are in the upscaling phase. Women in health is a big priority. There is a gap in data that we need to fill, and we have to build on technology transfer and increasing our human capacity. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you everyone.
And we thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for shedding the light on such a vital sector. I'll pick up vital from you. And we finally have this sector covered for today. Thank you very much. And as we take a group photo for the esteemed panelists, we'll be getting ready for the next one, session 5. Thank you, Dr. Morsi. So we move from innovation to industrial trade. The following session examines engineering collaboration and technology transfer opportunities. Let me invite the moderator, Engineer Sharif Al-Sayyad, Chairman, Engineering Export Council of Egypt. Dr. Khaled, thank you for being with us. And Dr. Hussam, of course, Hussam Abdel Ghaffar. I've had the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Hussam so many times on TV. Thank you for being with us today. So let us welcome again Dr. Sharif Al-Sayyad. Hello, how are you doing? And our panelists, Minister Plenipotentiary Dr. Ahmed Maghawi, Vice President of Industry, Mr. Kamal Pahuja, President of Market Area Middle East and India, METSO, Mr. Yasser Shawi, Commercial Advisor, Embassy of Finland in Cairo, and I would believe the tallest man in the hall. Hello. Mr. Kari Tumula, Chief Officer, Mirrors Power. Actually, it's Kari Tumala. I'm working on my Finnish. And I'd like to invite Mr. Shadi Manzalawi, Chief Executive Officer, Tiba Manzalawi Group, and Mr. Ahmed Baha Shalabi, CEO, MB Engineering Group. Well, let's give them a round of applause, and let's keep the hall ready for listening to our panelists. Thank you very much. And I'd like to remind you all to keep the microphones close. They're operating at all times. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the introduction. And good afternoon, distinguished and honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. Usually I don't like to read from papers, but today I think this is a very important forum, and what I prepared as questions for the distinguished panelists is very important, and I think it will be full of messages. So that's why that this time it will be an exception, and I will be reading from a paper. Anyway, I just will start 1 minute introduction for the engineering industries and for what we are looking for from the Egyptian and the Finnish side. It's a pleasure to welcome you in this session, the engineering collaboration and technology transfer opportunities between Egypt and Finland. When we look at Finland, we see a model of high-value engineering, innovation, and sustainability-driven industry. When we look at Egypt, we see scale, strategic location, and a fast-growing industrial base with strong potential, export potential. The real opportunity today is not just trade, it's co-creation, not just exporting products, but transferring knowledge, building capabilities, and developing industries together. Egypt is at a stage where the focus is shifting from volume to value-added manufacturing, from cost competitiveness to technology competitiveness. And this is exactly where collaboration with Finnish partners can create real impact. Today, I would like us to move beyond general discussions and focus on something very practical. Where exactly are the opportunities? What does successful collaborations look like? And how can we make it happen faster? And with my distinguished guests and panelists, I would like to focus precisely and specifically on certain engineering industries. So I will start by Dr. Ahmed Maghawi, Vice Minister of Industry. From the Egyptian industry perspective, where do you see the biggest gaps today that international partnerships, especially with Finland, can help bridge? Is it technology, processes, skills, or something else?
Okay, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody. I couldn't agree more with your eloquent introductory remarks. And basically, first of all, let me start by thanking you for being the moderator today, and Gafi for organizing such a beautiful event, and our partners from Finland and Egyptian industry leaders for being here today and for participating in this very exceptional event. Before answering your question, allow me to say something about Egypt's endeavor really to execute a very well-planned industrial policy that focuses on 4 priorities. First, deep localization of certain industries, especially engineering industries. Second is about attracting quality investors. Third pillar is about technology transfer and vocational training. Now with respect to your question about the biggest gaps and how can our partnership with Finland really help. Allow me to say that Egypt is again a country where there are a lot of potential, huge potential in Egypt. Um, um, Very well developed industrial base, domestic market with scale, connectivity and market access to almost 70 countries with around 1.3 billion consumers. Connectivity and again, a very we are really lucky we are located where we are located. Logistics corridor, Egypt is a gateway to Africa and to the Arab world. Now, answering your question, I would say that the gaps are clear. They are not in demand; they are in depth. The first gap, I would say, relates to technology depth and industrial know-how. Technology is no more a byproduct. Technology has become a core requirement for industrial development. Looking at different sectors in Egypt, you see that most of those sectors import basically a big amount of advanced materials, core technologies. And the gap here is not about equipment, it's about embedded know-how. And we see huge potential actually to working with the collaboration and partnership with Finland. Finland is known for high quality production and industrial processing. In mining and minerals, for example, we have Mesto, which is a leader in industrial solutions. In efficiency, electricity efficiency, we have Mirror's Power, which is again a provider of power quality and smart grid technologies. So this is an area where we can collaborate and do something together. The second challenge or gap relates to production processes and efficiency. Several of our factories are operating below optimal efficiency. And the gap here relates to automation, digital manufacturing, maintenance systems, integration systems, and again we see that collaboration with Finland can bring about a big amount of success stories here, if you will. The areas of focus to address the gap are sort of like maybe we can collaborate and partner to transfer Industry 4.2 applications and energy efficiency solutions. The third gap has to do with skills and lack of skills and technical capabilities. We in Egypt, we do have large workforce, yet we have to develop their skills to match state-of-the-art modern technologies and industrial processes all over the world. And the gap here relates to maybe technicians for advanced machinery, operators who can provide for digital productive environment, and engineers who can work on design and integrated solutions. And there is huge potential, as I said before, to collaborate with Finland in this area, especially when it comes to training and factory level optimization. This we can do through what I call a supplier ecosystem, which we do have. We have a lot of tier 2 and tier 3 suppliers, and we can connect them to anchor investors from Finland, who can provide training and of course factory-based learning. The fourth challenge has to do with what I call the supplier ecosystem, and this is actually a structural gap. It puts pressure on cost and on export competitiveness. And again, to deal with this gap, I believe that developing tier 2 and tier 3 suppliers and connecting them to anchor investors is going to be a plus and is going to deliver big time, especially in areas like energy efficiency and power solutions for industry and and areas related to automation and digital manufacturing processes. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed, for the insights and your input. Very precise and detailed. Thank you very much. Mr. Kamal Bahuja, President, Middle East and India, Metso. Metso covers the full value chain from mine to metal with a strong focus on sustainable processing. From your perspective, how can countries like Egypt leverage these technologies to move beyond raw material extraction into higher value mineral processing, while still maintaining sustainability and cost efficiency?
Thanks, and good afternoon on my behalf as well. So, and thank you, Mr. Vice Minister. That was a very precise setting the expectation. Maybe I can start with a bit of a context here. When we look at the developing economies, as the development cycle grows, the demand for minerals start to grow. And the key driver is normally urbanization. When people start to move, there is a demand for minerals. Everybody likes to have a modern life, but then what is needed is a sustainable modern life. And modern life needs a lot of gadgets which actually consume a lot of minerals. And also construction aggregates when you're building cities or cars, or you have those fancy gadgets or building housing for those needs. And there Metso starts to play a role, coming to the question in terms of what are the minerals required. So when you look at the minerals, of course you need to really beneficiate them. When you are not necessarily mining, you can't use them the way they are. So from ore to metal, there are processes which are needed, and then as a company we have those solutions which are from end to end, and then what is needed is how we really process them in the more efficient way. So clearly, to give an example, in olden times 1 ton of rock of gold could generate, let's say, 25 gram of gold, and today that recovery has gone down to something around 10 grams of gold. So that's the way grades are changing. So what is needed is basically the processes which can process these minerals in a sustainable way, so that you don't really leave lot of waste, leave lot of minerals in the waste. That's one part of it. Another part of it is that when you are processing these minerals, by default these minerals end up in the processing you end up consuming a lot of water and electricity. Again, a lot of CO2 emissions. So what you really need, do you have technologies which we can use to make sure that the overall footprints from your customer perspective in terms of water or energy or the moving parts which are used in the processing, they are used. So that's another dimension, and there the technologies start to play a very, very important role. And third and the most important dimension, I would say, that is most of the time these equipments have a very, very long economic life. So, and the pace of innovation in this industry is not very fast. So you're not innovating a new machine. It's not like iPhone, you got a new model every year. So you're not really inventing a new machine every 5 years or so. So eventually you need to have processes or machine where and grades are changing, as I mentioned. So what happens, plants are designed for certain type of a grade, and when the grades are changing, not necessarily you get the same yield as the grades start to go down. So you really need a lot of digitalization and automation tool which can process a lot of data. You need to have a flexibility in your process system which allows you to make those adjustments so that you can still draw the optimum yield from your final products. And there Metso has those solutions where it can really help in making sure that, okay, we improve the yield, we reduce the footprints for our customers on the CO2 perspective, we help in making sure that even though the input material has changed, but we still are able to optimize and deliver the right kind of efficiency to the plant. So that's where this overall cost efficiency and overall delivery in terms of yield starts to matter.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamal. Very insightful. Now to Mr. Yasser Shawqi, Commercial Advisor at Embassy of Finland in Cairo. I think you have been for so many years now as the Commercial Advisor, right?
Only 21 years.
Only 21 years.
Very young with it.
Okay, so Finland is known for high value engineering and advanced industrial solutions. From your experience, from the 21 years experience, What are the most realistic areas where technology transfer to Egypt can succeed quickly? And what conditions are needed on the ground to make it work? We need something on the ground. We need something specific. We don't just need some shiny words. We were talking about this outside. We want like a roadmap for this, please.
You told me I can use some shiny words, but okay. Look, Finland, they have very good engineers. They appreciate a lot the design, I mean, before starting a process. And that is actually embedded in their education system, which is excellent. I have seen this by myself, and actually we have started already to try to promote this in Egypt as a sort of cooperation in order to prepare the calibers first. And the technology transfer, definitely, we are also in that process. That's why we are having a selection of wonderful selection of companies from Finland in different sectors, who are really focusing on sustainable development, the green production, I mean, considering the environmental impacts and a lot of measures that could really benefit Egypt also to achieve their targets. We would like to have something like a win-win situation here. We would like to help Egypt to grow, maybe to promote the exports of Egypt. All right, so we do have production here in Egypt and it's going on very well. Maybe the exports are not that much, but why don't we try to make it up to the level? So we can have this combination and synergy between the Finnish technologies and then filling the gaps, as I second very much Dr. Ahmed, what he mentioned about the gaps. He's making my job very easier now. So when you know, I mean, on a demand-driven basis, what needs to be fixed, and then you can have the right approach for it. And having this discussion with your kind self and Dr. Manzalawi, actually, I mean, before the session, I mean, it's very good that we are having entities, I mean, like these councils, I mean, where we can talk and exchange ideas in order to shortlist what we need to scope in what to be done. Then we can be having a very successful plan in order to go forward. I remember we started something in cooperation with the presidency of Egypt. It was an initiative called IBDA. Well, they made a complete innovation. I mean, they transformed some vocational schools, and according to my experience, they selected AI as the theme of this school. And Finland contributed to that, I mean, with the curriculum and so on. When you go and see the product, I mean, the students who are coming out of this, they can be a very good caliber in the Egyptian market, because this is the product that we should be looking for here in Egypt. So I'm saying that we should start from all the level, and as Mr. Yarno Suriala, I mean, mentioned, I mean, earlier this morning, I mean, in education we can be on vocational education or academia, higher education, whichever, and all the types of capacity building. So I would think that the best way now that we can have a proper communication, I can also do my part in that, and maybe listen more from your side, I mean, about what is needed. And then we can do the right scoping. This delegation here, it is a seed. So we just need to water the seed in order to have a good plant. So let's say that we have the seed now, let's fill it with information, and both of us, we have to do our parts, and then we can have a very nice tree. I mean, if that would answer your question.
When we were talking outside, you told me something in Japanese, and I didn't understand. So, and I think you wanted to mention that the problem is always in communication, right?
Exactly.
So please, can you just in less than 1 minute explain this, please?
All right. Okay. As you can see, I mean, business can be done between public sector and private sector. Sometimes when you come, I mean, as the basic message here in the public sector, that, okay, Egypt is the hub for Africa, and this is true. But this needs some support, I mean, facts. It cannot be just like come and invest in Egypt. I mean, all right, you have to say why. Okay, because the investor needs certain measures to be stable. Like any feasibility study, you need like 14 years. I mean, what would be the exchange rate? What would be da-da-da-da-da? So, communication. We need to show, I mean, how we can do it together. Maybe they wouldn't have the courage to start all over the investment again, because all over the years, I think we are having like 5 factories so far from Finland. But guess what? One of them started, I mean, a company called Huhtamaki. They started in 2000, in year 2000, with engineer Ayman Korra. After 15 years, they decided, yes, this is the right time we go for flexible packaging. And when they started, They started with one factory, and in 5 years they built 3 factories. So it's a learning by doing process. There they can see the essence and the value, I mean, of doing something here in Egypt. I hope I made it right.
What was the sentence in Japanese that you asked?
Momento gozaimasu.
And what does it mean?
Thank you very much for
Okay.
that.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Yasser. Mr. Kari, CEO, Merus Power. Am I pronouncing it right? Merus Power? Okay.
That's correct.
My Finnish is very weak, but with Egypt exceptional solar exposure, and I always like to talk about solar exposure and sunlight in Egypt, reaching around 3,800 hours of sunshine annually. I think this will put us on the #1 country with the sunshine hours, I think, from my research. How can this natural advantage be translated into competitive, sustainable energy solutions that support industrial growth?
Thank you, Mr. Serik. First of all, I think you made all us Finns envy you about the solar radiation hours you have. In Helsinki area, we have roughly 50% of your sunshine. Just a few words about Merus Power. We are technology company. Enhancing the green transition. We manufacture or enable integration of renewable energy to the power grid by our energy storage solutions. And then we work also on the other side of the green transition by providing power quality solutions that improve energy efficiency and process efficiency, energy saving in that way. But back to how to exploit the beautiful sunshine that you have here. Here it's of course we have the same sun, but you get a bigger share of it. It's maybe not always we don't feel it's fair, but on the other hand, Finland is actually facing similar challenges on the wind side, that we have plenty of wind. So I'm quite familiar with the problem. And what is actually important in industrial growth and economical growth is that you have sufficient, reliable, and affordable power. And what as far as I have understood correctly, the price of electricity is relatively low in Egypt. It is also a government decision to keep it low. It is also low in Finland, and that's done market based. And in Finnish infrastructure, we have as mentioned, a substantial amount of renewable energy, and it has been done using technology. But since there are quite a lot of governmental participants here, it's not only technology; it's also the regulations and regulation how the renewable energy penetration is supported. So perhaps the difference between Finnish and Egyptian electrical infrastructure comes from the reliability of the grid and the development of that during the renewable energy transition. And this is of course one area where we are working as Merus Power. The key issue with solar energy is, as you know, it doesn't shine in the middle of the night, and how to transfer the power of solar during the day to the night time, and there are of course many technologies to store energy, but one of the fastest to implement is battery energy storages, which is the area where we have developed technology from the plus and minus of the battery all the way to the grid, and the stability of the grid is the key issue. What is quite often not so much recognized is that it's not only the production. Like you all know that it's not the income, but it's how much you spend. So it's in a power, it's a little bit the same. It's not only how much you produce, but in which way you consume. And this is the area where we have been in Egypt most active. We have developed systems that save energy and improve the efficiency of industrial operations like steel industry or mining industry or any place where you use electricity. And if we think about a little bit of the technology transfer issues, these are investments for long life cycle, and they need also the life cycle services. And this is already an area where we have done substantial technology transfer and have a local capable business partner. Actually, he's also here, ETA Electric and Mr. Ezelinde. Please stand up. We have been in Egypt now for 10 years, and last year Egypt was the single biggest business for us with 15% of our turnover. So we are smiling like the sun when we got the opportunity to be here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Kari, for your input. Mr. Shadi Al-Manzalawi, CEO, Tiba Manzalawi Group. Being a leading manufacturer and supplier of air conditioning systems, how would you benefit from Finnish expertise to make your products more competitive in international markets?
Thank you, Engineer Sharif, our distinguished panelists. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity today to be with you. I would like to start with a statement you said about having the sun in Egypt being unfair. You have the technology to harvest this sun. So this is where we can reach equilibrium together, because this is where Egypt has some advantages and Finland has some advantages. And this is where I would like to start from. We had a discussion outside about Egypt as a platform. Yes, we insist that Egypt is a platform. For years, Egypt has been looked at as a promising market, but this narrative is really outdated. Egypt now is a strategic hub. We have as a launch pad for Africa and Middle East and other countries beyond. How we see Finland is basically when precision meets scale. Finland is famous for precision engineering, clean technology leadership, industrial efficiency, world-class innovation. In Egypt, we represent scale, market access, cost competitiveness, and strategic positioning. So together, we are very strong, and when we align those core competencies together, we end up not only with incremental progress, but we get acceleration. I want to give you some quick facts about the air conditioning industry. People think that air conditioning, or how we call it, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, is just about comfort. In reality, it's about health, it's about productivity, it's about national energy security. So if we look into the buildings, 40 to 60% of the energy consumption of any building comes from the HVAC. And in hot climates like Egypt and the Gulf, this goes up to 65%. The cooling demand is the fastest growing demand in the whole world, and it's expected to triple by 2050. According to the International Energy Agency, efficiency of HVAC is among the top 3 fastest way to reduce global electricity worldwide. And I will give you a very interesting fact. Just when you turn on your air conditioning, a 1 degree increase in the thermostat reduces your power consumption from 6 to 10%. A very small decision, but
a very big, massive impact. Not only air conditioning is perceived for cooling, but we are talking about indoor air quality. We don't breathe outside, we breathe inside the building. So, interesting facts, humans spend 90% of their time indoors. And of course, that means that the air conditioning is controlling what we breathe. Poor indoor air quality contributes to 10 to 15% of lower productivity anywhere in the world. Indoor air climate is responsible for the main responsibility for respiratory diseases. So, how can Finnish companies help us in the air conditioning industry in Egypt? Finland's strength is not really into mass production of air conditioning, and this is not what we are looking for. We are looking for energy efficiency engineering, which Finland has. We are looking for ventilation and indoor air quality leadership, smart HVAC and controls, and sustainable and green technologies. How can we achieve that? I was just discussing with Mr. Yasser outside. From my personal experience, the best way is to go with joint ventures. This is where, as Engineer Sharif said, we have to align our joint ventures and create co-investment models. By this, we align long-term interests, enable real technology absorption and transfer, build local manufacturing capacity and depth, and reduce supply chain risks. For Finnish companies, we present competitive manufacturing costs, skilled and trainable workforce, strong government support, access, of course, to Africa and nearby countries, and one of the biggest, if not the biggest market in Africa, and the first or second largest economy in Africa. What we are looking for from Finland is not really the traditional relationship of buying and selling. We want to go more deep into technology transfers, research and development, and this is what we are expecting. We are expecting advanced technology, we are expecting operational excellence, we are expecting strong quality standards, and global market credibility. This is a natural strategic match. So if Finnish companies and investors, they are looking for scale, we deliver. If you are looking for growth, we are accelerating. If you are looking for impact, Egypt is ready. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's beautiful words coming from an industrial man before being a businessman. So he's giving us like a specific roadmap for how the collaboration can be between Finland and Egypt. Our last esteemed panelist, Mr. Ahmed Baha Shalabi, CEO, MB Engineering Group, and Chairman of Industrial Committee, Egyptian House of Representatives.
Thanks, Sharif.
In your, sorry for the question, yeah. In your view, what are the key enablers needed to accelerate Finland-Egypt industrial collaboration, whether regulatory, financial, or institutional?
Thanks, Sharif. And I think the three pillars that you just mentioned in your question is very important after Shadi's speech. I think opportunities is very clear now. The issue is like how we go from this opportunity and bridge the gap and make it more realized. So if we took one pillar, like the first one, which is regulatory, frankly speaking, regulation is available in Egypt. Like if we look for bilateral agreement, we'll find like we do have a bilateral investment treatment between Egypt and Finland, and this has been signed since 2004. This have a protection, capital protection, they have a free movement of capital, of profits. We do have intellectual property rights, and also we do have the legal disputes. So it's very clear that we do have such kind of bilateral agreements. Additionally, you have the general ones. We do have general ones, like for example, for the fast track, we do have the golden license. We do have as well in the sectorial ones, we do have hydrogen initiatives, we have renewable initiatives. If we are looking as well for free zones and frameworks, we do have the regulation for the free zones. So when we call about the pillar of the regulatory, actually Egypt have it all. But then the problem is about the execution, and the problem is about the usability of such regulation. So, and this I think will be taking us to the next pillar, the institutional part. The institutional part is a very important part to be able to have the framework. This framework and this institutional part, we should be having like name it like Egypt and Finland, the Industrial Council, Finland and Egypt Technology Transfer Program, whatever we name it, but what we need is the output of this institution. Out of this institution, we should be having on board people who are capable, people who have the accessibility, so they can draw the framework, a framework that can fit everybody. We are not looking for isolated deals between two major, for example, organizations, but we need the accessibility of the SMEs in both countries to be able to have such kind of partnerships, JV, license transfer, so then there's someone who have to work and draw this framework. After having such framework and having the regulatory in place, I think now we'll be looking for the easiest thing, which is the tactics between, joining such kind of regulation and applying these frameworks. Having said so, for the institutional part and also for the regulatory part, we'll go then for the financial part. Okay, and it's always, we don't say that finance doesn't come first. First we have the bankable projects, we have the opportunity, then finance usually comes. When finance comes as well, and we need to take this kind of cooperation with Finland, I think we need to be looking for something like blended finance. We should be covering more about financing for local activity. We'll be looking from Finland for some insurance company and support for the expertise. And not only we are talking about tools for debt financing, but we'll be looking as well for most of the tools for financing. We should be looking for an equities. We should be looking for funds for VCs if we are talking about innovations, and look about startups between the two countries. So here we go. As we mentioned, we are clear that the opportunity is clear. Clear as well that the regulatory platform is available. I think what we need to do now is go and work, actually, more than discussion, and have the proper framework, and then gapping the bridge between both of them. Thanks, Sharif.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ahmed. We still have 10 minutes, so I think I will go back to Dr. Ahmed. I think you want to maybe add something to this beautiful session today, please.
Thank you, appreciate it. First of all, it has been a pleasure listening to all the distinguished speakers. Their interventions were constructive and to the point, and I learned a lot from you, from all of you. Thank you very much. Basically, what I want to share with you today, through this panel and this event, actually, especially the Finnish partners and potential investors, I would say that we in Egypt, please do not regard Egypt or consider Egypt as a market, only a market. Egypt is a market, but it's not only a market. Egypt as well is a production base, but it's not only a production base. Egypt is also a logistics corridor. And working in Egypt and realizing success, actually may consider that success will be the result of a simple equation where Egypt is actually at the center of this equation. Egypt is a production base. Egypt is a gateway to Africa, and definitely we have a lot to offer. And here I want to recall something that was mentioned by Mr. Yasser Shawki when he said that we need to communicate why should we, or maybe investors, especially from Finland, invest in Egypt. And I will be very direct and say a few words in that regard. First, Egypt is a competitive industrial platform, and for example, our engineering sector is exporting around 20% of our total exports. Am I right? So this is a huge industrial platform that we can invest and capitalize on. Second, Egypt is a domestic market that actually domestic market with scale, more than 110 million consumers. Preferential access to almost 70 markets, 1.3 billion consumers spanning over Africa, Europe, and the MENA region. Second, and this is actually a real thing happening, Egypt offers an opportunity for anchor investors to focus on real value chain integration and resilience in a time where value chains are actually kind of like reconstructing themselves all over the world. And I believe that Egypt nowadays is a place where you have to really think of investing in and expanding through. Third, I want to say that Egypt actually provides enabling environment and government support. We have the fast track licensing for strategic industrial projects, We have dedicated industrial zones, as mentioned by Mr. Ahmed Baha, connecting industry and ports, and we are committed to industrial development through institutions like the Industrial Development Agency and its initiatives, that the technology centers and joint collaboration with big corporates and really firms that are already in Egypt, like Siemens. So we can capitalize on their expertise as well. What I want to say is that time is ripe for our Finnish partners to consider making for Egypt, making from Egypt, and expanding through Egypt. And we have all the enablers that you might be looking for. We're going to communicate that. I'm going to be working with you definitely, and together with our business community, because they are skilled in that, as you have heard. Our distinguished speakers, Mr. Manzalawi and Mr. Shadi, Mr. Shadi Manzalawi and Mr. Ahmed Baha, our business leaders in Egypt are very well advanced. They are in a position to really take the industry to another level, in collaboration, of course, with our Finnish partners. Again, welcome to Egypt, and I thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed. Would you like to add anything before closing the session? Thank you very much for your attention. I think this was very precise panel, and they gave us like a roadmap for how to collaborate between Egypt and Finland. And hopefully that this session will be the start for a new era of collaboration between the two countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Engineer Sharif Al-Sayyad, for moderating such a great session. I believe we all had a lot of great insights. We'll have a photo first, and then it will be followed by a final session before the lunch. I guess it's overdue by now. Thank you. So, as we always say, behind every strategy are companies turning vision into reality. We'd like, well, after the exchange of business cards, we will be moving quickly to the next session. Thank you. So in the following segment, I'll be welcoming our distinguished representatives from leading Finnish institutions and companies as they present their activities and, more importantly, their vision for partnership here in Egypt. As mentioned in the sessions early in the morning, the forum has like 19 Finnish companies represented, and they cover many sectors ranging from IT, technology, healthcare, sustainability, and of course a big part of it is wood. So what does Egypt have to offer? Egypt in turn offers something equally powerful, which is a dynamic market, a growing role as a gateway to Africa and the Middle East. We always welcome partnerships as those between Egypt and the European countries. We have a long, trustworthy relationship. So today we have members from extremely reputable Finnish institutions and companies, Kony, Aalto University, Bayer, Duwaco, Huhtamaki, among them. So let me present the gentleman that we will be having now. Please, Mr. U.C. Herlin, member of the board for Kony. So if you just give us a moment, please, as we have all the members on the stage, would you kindly join us? So I'd like to ask all the gentlemen with us to be present on stage, and then we'll give a moment for each representative to speak about the company. So, quite a handful. So, let's start with you, Mr. U.C. Herlin, member of the board for Kony.
Thank you, Dina. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Jussi Herlin. I'm the vice chairman of the board, and I represent the 5th generation of owners in Kone. And Kone is a company that everyone in this room is a customer of. We are a global leader in the elevator and escalator industry. We design, manufacture, install, maintain, and at the end of life modernize elevators for a variety of segments. We have 60,000 people, experts in all around the world, shaping the future of cities. And we are based in Helsinki, but we're active everywhere. In Egypt, we have been present for just over a decade, but we've already made ourselves a household name, being part of, for example, the Green Line of the Electric Express train, the Cairo Metro, the Alexandria Metro, as well as residential projects in the new capital city, and of course the iconic tower, the tallest tower in Africa, is also serviced by our equipment. So if you want to be a part of shaping the future of Egyptian urbanization, please come and talk to me and my colleagues. Shukran.
Thank you so much. Shukran. Now we move to Mr. Jan Marcus Holm, Director of Strategic Partnerships, Aalto University.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Jan Marcus Holm, and I come from Aalto University Executive Education. Aalto University is the #1 university in Finland, and we are about 100 global rankings also. In the leadership training, we are among 30 best in the world. So basically everything that we heard today in these panels, we are covering that in Aalto University and Aalto Executive Education. So what comes to the emerging technologies, AI, digitalization, green technology, sustainability, we are having it. It's only in our latest strategy of Aalto Group that we are expanding now our activities to MENA region, and this is my duty to do now. We have bound some cooperative activities already, but I am looking for new ones. We want to act together with the best ones what comes to the educational institutes and organizations or the companies. Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Shukran.
Thank you. And now we move to Mr. Uwe Dalesho, Head of Eurasia, Middle East and Africa, Bayer. I hope I got the pronunciation right.
You got it perfectly right. So, assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. My name is Uwe Dalesho. I'm representing Bayer. Bayer is actually a global enterprise active in the fields of healthcare and crop science. And I'm very privileged to be here as an individual representing a German company. And you might wonder, what's the bridge to the Finnish community and also to the Egyptian community here? And I want to report to you that Bayer has invested in the last decade more than $1 billion in Finland in R&D and also in manufacturing. And I'm also happy to report to you that 2 of our breakthrough innovations, one looking into reliable, reversible contraception. We talked a lot about women's health today. And also one treatment for advanced prostatic carcinoma is actually coming out of labs in Finland and is being produced in Finland, which brings me to the topic of building bridges between innovation coming out of Finland, but also tremendous collaboration here in Egypt, not only with the Ministry of Health and public, but also with the UNFPA. We are over more than 10 years reaching out to, in the case of the long-acting reliable contraception, more than 500,000 women, and we are educating thousands of physicians and caregivers on those reliable contraceptive methods. And looking forward, We are also establishing a local manufacturing collaboration with an Egyptian company. And we are looking forward to expand our reach and as expansion into Africa. So with that, thank you very much and hand over to my next colleague.
Thank you. Let's move to Mr. Lasse Ore, Managing Director and Board Member, Bronto Skylift.
Good afternoon. My name is Lasse Ore and represent the Bronto Skylift. We save lives and we protect the infrastructure and maintain infrastructure. So in practical, we are manufacturing for tailor-made aerial platforms from 22 meters up to 104 meters and take care of maintenance as well. Our export rate is 97%. The biggest market we have in the Middle East, in USA and in Europe. We have customers from over 120 countries overall in the world. Main products are fire and rescue products and infrastructure products like power line maintenance, windmill blade repairing, construction projects. And we are #1 company in the world for aerial platforms in terms of reliability, safety and quality. Today we have over 30 aerial platforms in Egypt today, and more we have now in production line. Those are bought by fire and rescue bridges, Egypt defense, and also oil and gas companies.
Amazing. Let's hear now from Mr. Riku Granberg, Chief Executive Officer, Dewaco.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Riku Granberg, CEO of Dewaco Oy. With our brand Deva, we supply equipment for water sector, sedimentation and sludge treatment. So potable water, wastewater, desalination, explosive environments, industrial solutions. In Egypt, we have delivered to over 20 projects where the maybe crown jewel is the Al Hammam New Delta water treatment plant, biggest in the world. So they have our chain scraper systems there. So together with our local partner Orbis Trading, we are here willing and ready to supply the growing needs in Egypt in this sector. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Granberg. And now we move to our sixth representative, Mr. Mikko Pukinen, Chief Sales Officer, Elisa Polystar.
Very good afternoon. Mikko Pukinen from Elisa. We are the #1 communication service provider in Finland, but we are also a very big international software provider for telecom industry. Let me start by congratulating Egypt for its Vision 2030 for the digital society. And what actually empowers the digital society is very much what was discussed earlier, companies like Nokia, Cisco, delivering great solutions that enables it. What we do with our solutions actually to ensure the quality through network and service assurance solutions that we provide for those networks, to really ensure that the governments, the great public and the businesses do have really good quality backbone for the communication to excel in this vision. We are very pleased to be in Egypt. We already have customers here, Telecom Egypt as well as Orange. We look forward to grow. Egypt is a great hub for us in Middle East, where we have currently our R&D service center as well as the sales center for the region, and we really look forward our increased presence here in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, and let's hear now from Mr. Axel Glade, President for Flexible Packaging, Huhtamäki.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Axel Glade. I'm representing Huhtamäki. Huhtamäki is a global manufacturer of sustainable packaging material. Huhtamäki is a stock-listed Finnish company, So we have a turnover of more than 4 billion. We are engaging more than 17,000 people. We have 100 sites around the world, and we are operating in 35 countries. So we are serving global FMCG customers, but also the regional market in Egypt. So we have a strong presence in Egypt. We have already 2 factories for the flexible packaging area and 1 factory focusing on fiber, and another factory in fiber is under construction. So Egypt is a very attractive place for us because it's a stable country, it's very investment friendly, and we see positive trends in terms of demographic trends. So we are here to develop partnerships